Hi everyone, Robin Shea here. It's day 24 of Before the Fork, the 28-day experience. And I am recording this on my computer because Facebook is doing something super wonky on my cell phone and it's just not working well. It cut me off a couple times. So the opening screen is going to be scrambled. We've already seen that that's something that happens when I video from my computer. Let's see. Okay, there we are. Message is one that I'm going to share with y'all, and on the one hand it might be a little embarrassing. I have two stories. On the other hand, it has really been something that I've used in my life when I felt powerless to affect change, and it put my heart at rest. So first I'm going to tell you the story that made me think to tell you this tonight. So I'm driving home from the yoga studio this morning, and I'm passing by this garbage truck, or this, it was a big garbage truck, and it was just coughing and spewing black smoke into the air around me, and I'm like, oh, geez. But I have this special filtration system on my car, and so by the time it got into the air got into my car, I smelled nothing. So I was able to see it, and I was able to see the car just choking and chugging along, but I was unable, or the air was unable to get to me because I had this filtration system in my air conditioner in my car, and I was so grateful for that. And that reminded me of a little story that I wanted to share with y'all. You know, as we talked about this morning, we are just these little fledgling plants that are reaching toward the sun. We still need water, and we still need great, great care. And we have the ultimate gardener in Christ if we lean into him, and if we trust to surrender and to allow him to care for us. Well, one of the things that we can do to be cared for is we can put a filtration system on our life. We can install a filtration system that will take our world, and this is what I recommend to do. It will take our world from here and bring it down here, this small little world that we can manage and we can live within. So during these next 4-5 days of the program, hi Peggy, hi Brian, my suggestion to you is to shrink your world down to a very small world, because right now we're practicing the skills that we discovered during phase 2. So while you're practicing these skills, a master. Maybe don't go to the party quite yet. Maybe don't go to the cocktail hour and expect yourself to have club soda and lime if that's not where you are mentally. Minimize the risks. Identify and minimize the risks. Shrink your world. That's all. It's super simple. We're only going to do it for until the 28th. But it's a really, really good idea. Now, I'm not saying I want you to shrink away from life. I am not saying that at all. There is going to be a time to engage in challenge. Absolutely. But right now we are practicing some skills. So if you do put yourself in a social situation where you feel that you could come to some of the temptations, go to situations with a adamant game plan. Have it written down. Know exactly what you're going to do. Because your discipline is born, and I identified 4 areas that your discipline is born. And the first thing it is born through is starting small. Okay? And we've already identified that. We know. We spent 3 days in phase 1. Choosing the nutritional program. We spent 19 days in phase 2, where 19, was it 19? Yeah, 19, 17. I'm sorry, 17 days in phase 2, where we really refined those skills, or not refined them, but we discovered those skills. Phase 3, we refined them. But one of the things that you'll remember, one of the things that I always touch on is number 1, celebrate the smallest victories. You want to start so small. You want to take bite-sized little pieces of the transformation process at the beginning. What you want to do is be forgiving. Okay, so now we're identifying discipline and some core characteristics to discipline. Start small, stay strong, meaning that when you mess up, you immediately say, whoop, messed up. Okay, what are we going to do about that? Well, all's forgiven, all's well. You are not going to carry a grudge. You're not going to be frustrated with yourself. You're just going to say, we're going to get right back on. We're going to get right back on. We're going to get right back on. You know, the most persistent person is the one that ultimately succeeds. It has nothing to do with the person that tries and fails and then stops. That's failure. Trying and failing and trying and failing and trying, that's persistence. There's a big difference between failing from lack of persistence and persisting from multiple failures. Okay, so reframe failure, be persistent. Okay, the next thing is just do it. And I know that sounds cliche and it sounds ridiculous and it sounds like, oh brother, okay, here's a Nike ad, just do it. But let me tell you something. When you say, I'm going to start Monday, when you say, I do better when I start at the beginning of the month, when you say, my menstrual cycle is coming, I need to wait until after that. When you say, I have a business trip and I need to postpone it until I get back from that business trip. Oh, I have a party next weekend. Maybe I'll wait until the following Monday. Okay? It is easy to be a hero tomorrow. It is easy to paint yourself as this person that's going to overcome all the odds tomorrow. Those are what New Year's resolutions are built on. So when I don't know if it was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday. I know it was a weekday. I couldn't tell you what day it was. I had zero preparation, no preparation. I collapsed. I was risen a different person, and it started right then, right that minute. I had the internal energy inside my body through the grace of God to start right then and there. Okay? So when you're feeling it, grab it. That feeling is a nudge. Now, I think we talked about this before, but just to expand on that idea again, intuition and intuition and impulsive, very different things, yet they can get easily confused. Okay, impulse is 99.9% of the time is an act that doesn't serve you. So when you say, I was just acting on impulse, it's an act that doesn't serve you. Instinct is an act that serves your greater good. So have you ever had that instinct to pick up the phone and make a phone call? That instinct to take this exit rather than your normal course? Those are moments of divine connection. When God is saying, do this, not that, for whatever reason. Now, an impulse, that's not to be confused with an impulse. And an impulse is, well, I just pulled her hair. Well, that's a child's example of impulse. It doesn't serve the greater good. So be very careful when I say just do it. You want to look at the divine connection that you have and lean into the connection of, okay, now's the time to do it. Don't wait, act now, just do it. Impulses lead to destructive behavior, instincts or the divine connection is going to lead to positive behavior. And that's a real good way to differentiate the two. Finally, I want you to celebrate when we're rolling into phase 4, which is going to be tomorrow. I want you to look for opportunities to celebrate socially. Okay? So plan a night out. Plan some time with friends that you've been retreating from a little bit. I know that this shell around, but I'm saying right now, I want you within the next 4 days, starting tomorrow, the final 4 days, the final 4 phases, plan a social celebration. No one needs to know if you're keeping this close to your chest, but get with people that you've guarded yourself from for just for self-protection. Get with those folks and remind yourself that you can still have the social life that is so important to all of us. So enjoy yourself in a social setting and celebrate what you have done during the first 3 phases of the program. Share it if you want to share it. Hold it close if you don't want to share it. But you need to connect with other people to remind yourself that these changes that you have made, they don't have to ruin friendships. They don't have to stop your social life. Control of when it happens, where it happens, and how it's going to happen. Okay? So to go over those real quickly again, we want to start small, which we did in phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 3, we refined. We want to launch strong. So we want to stay persistent. Failure is only failure when it ends there. Once you re-up, it becomes persistence. Okay? Number 3, just do it. Learn to differentiate between instinct and impulse. Instinct is divinely ordained. Impulse typically leads to a destructive behavior. But just do it. When you are feeling the calling to go further. As a matter of fact, it's funny because sometimes I will challenge myself to do something on an off day, on like, let's say a Tuesday, totally random. Every reason in the world to wait till the following Monday to begin. But in order to overcome that victory tomorrow, or I'm going to be a hero tomorrow, sometimes I'll just throw that out there in front of myself and say, no, you're starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. because it's just so random. Okay, so just do it. Just start. And finally, celebrate socially. Just recognize that you are not giving up your entire social life in the restructuring of your habits. So find an opportunity to celebrate with people that you love and people that you enjoy. So take that protective bubble, the magic bubble, as I say, and that is your environment, and recognize the discipline and know that God's discipline for you in your life is your protective bubble. Operate in this world can expand beyond your wildest ideas, but while you're managing it, while you're learning it, take it into this little dome and let it shield yourself from a lot of the external distractions that would diminish the formation of your new disciplines. Okay, I hope that made sense to y'all. The filtration system in my car is what made me think of it, because I had this protective filter that allowed me to take in this noxious air, and it didn't penetrate the inside of my car because I was protected. So just look at God's protection in that way and know that discipline is actually your greatest freedom, because it allows you to mold and shape your life, which is what we're doing right now. So enjoy your last day of phase 3. We're going to launch tomorrow into phase 4. Phase 4 is kind of a respite. It has a little bit of a different undercurrent to it. It's a little soothing and a little self-rocking, and we all need that from time to time. So I hope you guys have had a fantastic day. Remember to love with your whole heart. Allow yourself to be blessed, and also remember to always be a blessing to someone else. And have a fantastic night. I'm going to go out to eat with my honey tonight, and I'll be back with you first thing in the morning. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.